Welcome to the mesmerizing world of Cloned Tyrone, 2023, a thrilling sci-fi adventure that will leave you spellbound. In a future where technology knows no bounds, the unimaginable happens. Brace yourself for mind-bending twists and unexpected revelations as we delve into this cinematic plot. Fontaine is a drug dealer in a retro-futuristic community known as the Glen with odds against him and a schedule he maintains each day. His mom remains in her room all day and infrequently speaks to Fontaine, and he still mourns the dying of his younger brother. Slick Charles, one of Fontaine's customers, initiates a quarrel with one of his sex workers, Yo-Yo. Fontaine confronts Slick Charles, who owes Fontaine cash, and encounters Yo-Yo. Fontaine is able to get some of the cash from Slick, however is then fatally shot by an opposing drug supplier named Isaac as he leaves. The following morning, Slick is shocked when Fontaine comes back for the money again, by some means alive and without any reminiscences of the previous night. The two discover Yo-Yo to verify Slick's claims of his dying, which confuses Fontaine. He recollects whilst a person, bleeding from a gunshot, was once kidnapped by a mysterious van, that's now parked outdoor of a trap house. Fontaine goes inside the residence to research, with Slick and Yo-Yo, who voice their issues. They find out an elevator to an underground lab. A white scientist with an afro tells them that the operation has already spread. Slick snorts a mysterious white substance he thinks is cocaine, but finally ends up laughing forcefully and killing the scientist by accident after Yo-Yo causes a small explosion. The trio discovers a corpse lying on a desk, which happens to be Fontaine's clone. The next morning, Fontaine breaks into the residence once more, solely to discover that the entrance to the lab has disappeared. At a fried chicken restaurant, anybody inside the building begins laughing, which makes Slick realize the fried chicken, which has been said to have a brand new secret component, contains the equal white substance he saw previously. Investigating the situation, Yo-Yo seduces the restaurant manager, who coincidentally appears very much like the scientist Slick killed. She discovers that everything of the Glen is being surveilled and recorded. They later find out that the substance is also being used in grape liquids and hair products for black women through hidden messages from an alcoholic Fontaine encounters every day. They find a nearby black church which the churchgoers collectively sings cheerfully, due to the grape drink's influence. After the church finishes, they discovers an elevator within the altar. They find out that the lab facility spans the complete Glen location, and witness black people being experimented. They find that the lab is clones of many Glen residents. Together with Fontaine and Slick Charles, they watch the scientists controlling the clones through music and visible stimulation. They go out through a local club after Fontaine sets off an alarm. The DJ brainwashes the clubgoers with a track and then forces them to chase the trio. A white guy named Nixon and Fontaine's clone named Chester show up to halt the clubgoers. Nixon explains that scientists like him conduct experiments on the impoverished, predominantly black people, which includes the Glen, to permit the operation to go neglected and supposedly attain peace in the United States. Nixon makes use of a trigger phrase, causing the whole crowd to observe his commands aside from Yo-Yo. Nixon tells Fontaine to put a pistol in his mouth, which he does. Yo-Yo pleads for his life, and Nixon makes use another trigger word to release them from their hypnosis. The whole crowd was conscious the entire time, unable to manipulate their moves. Despite the reality that Yo-Yo was once a witness who was once absolutely unaffected, Nixon still threatens to apply it on the group again if they don't stop their investigation. The next day, Fontaine falls deeper into despair after discovering that his mom, whom he had never met, was just a voice on a tape recorder. Yo-Yo decides to take matters into her own hands, however has her identity accidentally exposed and is eventually kidnapped by Nixon. Fontaine comes up with a plan with Slick and Isaac to rescue Yo-Yo, faking his death to sneak into the lab undetected. Fontaine, Slick Charles and Isaac storms into the lab with numerous residents of the Glen. They release the black people being experimented on, including the clones, even as Yo-Yo free herself and Slick. Fontaine is overpowered by Chester and taken to an older version of Fontaine, revealed to be the actual Fontaine. He explains that he's helping scientists to create peace by literally whitewashing black humans into white people, through manage and generational breeding. The racially influenced homicide of Fontaine's little brother by a police officer caused him to start making the clones. Fontaine uses Nixon's trigger word on Chester and has him shoot the original. Meanwhile, Yo-Yo stalls Nixon from killing her before Slick shoots him in the head. The entrance to the church opens up, spilling bare clones out to the general public and exposing the mystery operation. After Yo-Yo broadcasts her retirement from her job, the trio comes to a decision to head to Memphis, to further expose and stop the operation. In the meantime, in LA, A man by the name Tyrone is same as Fontaine and living the same life as Fontaine. Together with his friends, he watches as one of Fontaine's clones come on television, revealing that Tyrone is a clone of Fontaine. At the end of the film, the sinister conspiracy is exposed. The plot keeps readers on the edge of their seats and delivers mystery, conspiracy and social issues. Overall, the story raises important questions about power dynamics and societal control. Cloned Tyrone is an exploration of what it means to be human and the unforeseen consequences that awaits those who tamper with human cloning. Subscribe to our channel for more exclusive recaps.